The Giants are the future of the NFC East. When you look at the pillars of the team, John Harbaugh, Jaxson Dart, Malik Nabers, Cam Scatterbo, Brian Burns, Abdul Carter, Andrew Thomas. That is great building blocks for a team that is going to sit atop the NFC East for years to come. Because when I look around the landscape and I see the Commanders, an older team, a quarterback that is great, but will Jaden Daniels be healthy throughout his career? He certainly wasn't this past season. I look at a Dallas Cowboys team that traded their best defensive player and then had one of the worst defensive performances for a season that I've ever seen. And then there's the Eagles, a team that is in disarray, a team that something is just a little off with, and a team that the Giants, without Harbaugh, already beat this past year in the regular season. Is A.J. Brown going to be an Eagle next season? Maybe not. Is Saquon Barkley trending down? I mean, based off this season, yes. So, in my estimation, the Eagles are trending down and the Giants are now trending up. And that has a lot to do with the hiring of John Harbaugh to go with the great young nucleus of players on the Giants. And that's why it was so important to get this hire right. To bring in a coach with experience, a CEO, a culture builder, and a guy that can teach this young Giants team how to win. And that's exactly what John Harbaugh is going to do. The future is bright. The future of the NFC East is the Giants. And it's been a long time since we have been able to utter those words. The Eagles have sat on the throne for a very, very, very long time. It seems like for decades. And we all know how great Howie Roseman is. We all know how great that organization is. And we all know the success that they have had. But their time has come and gone. And it is now the time of the Giants. Because they were able to sell their team, their franchise, their quarterback to arguably the most coveted free agent head coach in NFL history. That's how sought after John Harbaugh was. And it was the Giants and their team and their quarterback and their young crop of talented players that Harbaugh said, I'm going to buy that real estate. That's where I want to go. Because in my estimation, this is it for Harbaugh. This is the last team he will coach. This was a major decision. This is not one he took lightly. And with the pick of the litter, Harbaugh scanned the field and said, that's where I want to land. That's the team I want to coach. That's the quarterback that I trust to get me back to the Super Bowl and to win a Super Bowl. So when I look around the NFC East and I see a Commanders team that went backwards, that say what you want, give me Harbaugh or Quinn, I'm taking Harbaugh every day of the week. A team that is aging, a quarterback that has health issue or, injury, perhaps prone. A Cowboys team that traded their best defensive player and had an awful defense this year, and a team that has, choked away a lot of playoff appearances when they get to January. And then an Eagle team that just feels off and feels like they're going to break up the core and feels like they have kind of reached their peak. They have gotten to the top of the mountain, and the only place to go next is down. whereas the Giants have been down for a very long time. And they've been looking up at the top of the mountain that the Eagles have sat on. A top of the mountain that even the Commanders had a little taste of. Even the Cowboys had a little bit of a taste of. But mainly it's been the Eagles. And there is now a shift, a seismic shift, and it's in the favor of the Giants. They are the talk of the NFL. And when you take a look at the pillars that I laid out for you, and it's in all facets of the game, O-line, D-line, quarterback, running back room, wide receiver, head coach, they have all the major things covered. And in some ways, they're just getting started. Harbaugh hasn't even hired any coordinators. Joe Shane, who's getting better and better and better with drafts, look at the last 2 years, can now roll his sleeves up and continue on that success. They have good cap space. And they now have belief. And they have an energy. And they have a demeanor. And they have a swagger that started with Dart, as well as Cam Scatterbo, and now you have John Harbaugh to go along with a team that, even though it didn't look that way, and even though this past season it was, is this team good enough? Because I've heard that, oh, this team's not good enough to win right away. Yes, they are. This team is a 10-win team next season, and they're in the playoffs. Because it was never about the roster. It was never about personnel. It was about culture, and it was about how poorly coached they were. If Dart starts in week 1, if Nabers stays healthy, if Scatterbo stays healthy, and they had the right head coach, or if John Harbaugh was the coach of this past year's team, they would have been in the playoffs. Because they would know how to win. And that's exactly what Harbaugh is going to instill on this team from day one. And they will get with the program from day one. And if they don't, they'll be shown the door. It's not going to be summer camp. It's going to be a guy, a supreme leader at the top, ruling with an iron fist. And that's exactly what they needed and exactly what the Giants wanted when they sought out John Harbaugh. And you have to give credit to a lot of people. There's one person in particular that I think deserves the most credit, and we'll get to that a little later on in the show. But I, for one, and I'll put my hand up, thought they were being too aggressive. I was wrong. They played it absolutely perfectly. There was mutual interest, and they played every single note to the perfect tune. And that's why Harbaugh is here. He knows it. I know it. And soon enough, the rest of the NFL, specifically the NFC East, is going to find out exactly what the Giants are about and exactly which team is the future of the NFC East, and it is the Giants. 888-808-1019 is the phone number to call. It is after hours. It is Positive Tommy in prime time. And by the way, you're welcome. Now, you might be asking, why am I saying that? If you missed it last night, or if you missed Evan and Tiki today on the midday, I was on the air when the news broke that John Harbaugh and the Giants were working on a contract for him to become the next head coach of the Giants. And what I said at the time was, After Hours is not even 2 weeks old. I just got the job 10 days ago. Well, I got a little while before that, but it started 10 days ago. And not even 2 weeks in, the head coach that 99%, if not 99.9% of Giant fans wanted, John Harbaugh, he made his decision, and the news broke while I was on the air. Is that a coincidence?
Tommy Lugauer is a generational talent.
Not a coincidence. Thank you, Boomer. Not a coincidence. Just like it wasn't a coincidence a little over a year ago when I went on the Rico Bronya podcast. And within minutes, the news broke that Juan Soto picked the Mets. Was that a coincidence?
Loogie!
Absolutely not. So I would say this. I would stay tuned for the next 5 hours or so because Kyle Tucker, we might make it a hat trick here. Kyle Tucker to the Mets. And that's my gift to you. So you're welcome. My existence, my being, my aura, everything that makes positive Tommy, and a generational talent is the gift to the tri-state area. And it's my pleasure. And you don't even have to thank me. So you don't have to hit me up on social media or call in today. It's okay. But you're welcome. You're welcome. Positive Tommy was in a little bit of hibernation. I'll even admit that. It's the winter. Positive Tommy allergic to wintertime. I was down in Boca playing pinochle and Uno and bocce ball. But I got the call from my kids to say, hey, you need to be back up here. A little hibernating, a little snowbird. More positive between April and, let's say, late October, hopefully.
I believe in positive Tommy.
As you should. Because the power of positivity is back. And the power of positivity will lead the way here. Because the power of positivity got you Harbaugh and it got you Juan Soto. So they played the clip earlier on Evan and Tiki, and they left that part out, it was still a funny clip that they played. But the point is that when I'm on the air, good things happen to those that want these things to happen. Does that make sense? Harbaugh, Soto, great. Let's go to Chris in Warwick. What's going on, Chris?
Hey, what's up, Tommy? How you doing, brother?
How you doing?
I just want to first off apologize for last week. I got kicked off because I cursed. Because I was so excited. I want to let you know that there was no way Harbaugh was not picking the Giants. He was coming here. Anyway, I just want to say, let's go Giants, baby. I'm psyched. I know you're psyched. I can't wait, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely, Chris. And no apology needed. I bring that out of people, and we always have the dump button, so we could always kind of let you go. But that's okay, because you showed your passion, you showed your energy, and you showed how much you wanted Harbaugh here. And it was, I wouldn't say rough, but it was an interesting, week or so, because everybody was on pins and needles. And I understand that. And I understand how important this hire was. And I understand how important it was to get it right. And I understand exactly what the Giants are on the verge of. And now that they have John Harbaugh, they can fulfill that. And that is being the best team in the NFC East, the future of the NFC East. And that's exactly what I believe they are going to be. 888-808-1019 is the phone number to call. Let's go to Andrew in Belmar. What's up, Andrew?
Hey, Tommy, keep on manifesting that positivity. Thank you so much. This is amazing.
My pleasure.
Yes, I'm just totally psyched because the Giants, as of late, haven't been giving me anything to look forward to. I'm making a prediction now. We're winning the division at least 3 out of the next 6 years. I'm positive of that.
Love it. I love that, and I think that it is absolutely, and like I said to start the show here, that's what I feel like is going to happen, because I look around the division and I see a team in Washington that signed a bunch of older players, and they took a lot of steps backwards. I see an Eagle team that is in disarray, and I see the Cowboys who have absolutely no defense, and I look at the Giants and I say, wow, head coach, quarterback, wide receiver, running back room, a much improved, if not very good offensive line, a defensive line that the Harbaugh administration is going to get the absolute best of, a special teams that has struggled, but that's Harbaugh's specialty, so I expect the special teams to get a hell of a lot, not just better because it couldn't get any worse, a hell of a lot better. And then if they tighten up, like it knocked up, we tighten up a little bit with the safety and the secondary, all of a sudden the Giants are the premier team in the NFC East.
Yeah, Tommy, I'm just excited to watch Giants football. I'm just looking forward to it.
No, I hear you, Andrew, and you share a lot of people's thoughts on this, and I totally understand it, because for so long we had to sit and watch bad, non-competitive football that would end in late September, whether it's bad offense, bad defense, bad coaching, just across the board through multiple different coaches. And the Giants had lost their way to the point where they were, because think about how bad things are with the Jets, right? Haven't made the playoffs since the 2010 season, 2011, technically the year. And the Giants and Jets shared a lot of, not just the stadium, but a lot of real estate when it came to awfulness. Whenever they put up a graphic when the Giants were playing on primetime, it was Giants and Jets. Like we were neck and neck for patheticness. And that's not a place that the Giants are used to being. When you think of a proud franchise, when you think of a winning franchise, when you think of all their rich history. And ever since Coughlin was let go, they lost their way. And they tried all different kinds of things with different head coaches and GMs and quarterbacks, and it just, none of it worked. Or none of it worked for a long period of time. There were flashes here with McAdoo. There was a flash here with Dable, but nothing where it felt sustained and like, hey, the Giants are back to what they do best. And that's being one of the best, premier, proudest franchises in the NFL. And that's for everybody, like really everybody, the fans that are watching the games, the media that covers the team, us as a station here. It was just, in so many ways, like, when are we going to get out of this nightmare? This nightmare that has lasted for so long. Well, the nightmare is over. And now you can dream as big as you want to dream. Whether it's, like I said, being the future of the NFC East, whether it's Super Bowl, Super Bowls, however you want to say it, however you want to phrase it, because the building blocks are all there for the Giants to have great success.